Hello, everyone. Welcome to Catch the Case. My name is Kim. I'm just here real quick on a pre-record because it's extraordinarily late at night, and I want to make sure this is up for tomorrow morning. Kevin Spacey was acquitted today in London on the remaining outstanding cases that were left out there related to the numerous allegations of inappropriate sexual activity, ranging from full-on SA to groping to sexual harassment. They spanned from the US to the UK. The US cases are pretty interesting. They both never made it to trial. Not to conclusion anyway. One of them was dismissed. So one of them was in Massachusetts. The accuser ended up invoking their Fifth Amendment right, leaving the state with very little to go on. So they dismissed that one. In California, it never even made it that far. Sadly, the accuser passed away, so that it never made it to any sort of adjudication. There was a civil case in New York for sexual battery, and that went in Spacey's favor last year. So that left a tremendous amount of eyes on this London case. Now, the London case started out with 4 accusers and 13 charges. So what happened is, prior to the actual inception of the court case and the trial beginning, one of the charges was dropped, and with it, that accuser. So by the time it made it into the court for trial, there were 3 accusers and a total of 12 charges. Right before the jury went for the jury deliberated for 12 hours. Right before they were sent to deliberate, though, of that 12 left, they dropped another 3. So the court struck down 3. So not dropped, but they struck down. The court struck down 3, leaving 9 for adjudication. He was acquitted of all 9 of them. He did go to testify. Also testifying, and it became relevant, was Elton John and his husband. So the incidents ranged from 2001 to 2013. One of them was an actor who Spacey, mentored in his tenure at the Old Vic, which is kind of the actors repertoire, kind of theater group kind of thing. And the other 2 were more casual acquaintances, I guess, if you will. The prosecutor, so the allegations ranged. Okay, so they ranged. One of these was a bartender who alleged that, he went home with Spacey. Spacey gave him a hug and then rubbed his head in an appropriate place. And then the accuser, fell asleep. But he made an interesting, claim in there that he also, that was not like him. There was innuendo that there might have been some drugging that happened. And that when he woke up, an act was being performed on him without consent while he was sleeping. The other 2 allegations were for groping, overt groping. One of the men said it was like painful. It was that aggressive. One of those was a casual acquaintance of Spacey, who they were driving to a charity event at Elton John, like a charity gala that Elton John was putting on. And he marked the time of this sometime between 2004 and 2005. And this is what prompted Elton John and his husband to testify, because the only time that Spacey had ever attended one of those events was a full 3 years prior. So Christine Agnew, which is Kevin Spacey's lawyer, of course would have, this wasn't televised. There's some reporting out there on it. So kind of piecing all that together, we can assume that she went at that, right? But Spacey himself testified, and he's always denied the charges. He's always denied all these allegations. But it was a decisive verdict, so 12 hours, and they came back. They found him not guilty of all the 9 that were remaining. The actor, the accuser, that was an actor who had met him in kind of a mentorship role, that was also kind of a grabbing situation. And there's not a lot of information actually about what might have caused doubt in the jury on that one. But with all this said, I guess there was also evidence, though, that 3 of these 4, and it doesn't say which 3, keeping in mind that the one accuser had the one count that was ascribed to him, and that was dismissed. There was attempts to reach like monetary settlements with Kevin Spacey prior to the criminal trial. So I assume that might have played a little bit into it. But all in all, you guys, there was another victim so the other thing to note about the civil victim is that he had made allegations that went back to like 1987, I believe, and which would have made him 14 at the time. Okay. So we've all heard, and I think even most of us now, when we hear Kevin Spacey's name, we automatically kind of ascribe these things. It is something that readily comes to mind. I would like to know now what you all think. For all intents and purposes, this was the last in the series of attempts to hold him responsible and get some adjudication on these. And barring the gentleman, rest in peace, who passed away before he could get to his trial, all of these have been through the court system now. Things can happen, of course. And just because they approached him for settlements and whatnot, these 3 men out in the UK, that doesn't preclude them from now moving forward, So there still could be civil cases outstanding on the London accusers. But all in all, this is kind of the end. And I would like to know what people think. That's 7 total accusers. One of them would have been a minor. These date back to 1987. But the bulk of them fell between 2001 and 2014. I'd like to know what you think. Where there's smoke, there's fire? What are your thoughts? If you know about, if you've been following the Kevin Spacey cases, part of the Me Too movement, anything like that, let me know your thoughts. I wanted to make sure to get this out there because I'm a little surprised. I'm not going to lie. I'm surprised. And I think, there's a bigger discussion that maybe can be had because this is one of the harder crimes to prosecute. And that includes, that kind of factors in the fact that oftentimes people don't come out till years later. The same sex, cases sometimes never get reported, and that goes the same for, opposite sex. It's just, there's a lot of nuances here. And, but as far as the legal system goes, it's been rather definitive, in the case of Kevin Spacey in light of today's verdict. Let me know your thoughts and comments below. Please like and subscribe. Make sure to hit that bell if you want to catch the next case.